Mom's long-lost secret daughter showed up at my wedding, demanding to be part of our family after 25 long years. Hey Reddit. I am Peyton and I just turned 29. My husband, Justin, is 30. We have been together for 7 years since we met in college. I've been a long-time lurker on Reddit, especially relationship advice and AITAH. Never thought I would actually be posting here myself, but here we are. This is a wild story, and I need to get it off my chest and maybe get some perspective from you all. So, picture this. It is my wedding day. I am in my dress, feeling like a princess, a little nervous but mostly excited to marry the love of my life. My mom, Barbara, who is in her late 50s, is buzzing around, making sure everything is perfect. She is usually pretty calm, but weddings, bring out a different side of people. My dad passed away a few years ago, so it was just Mom and me for the planning, and she had been amazing. The ceremony is about to start. I am backstage with my bridesmaids, taking deep breaths, when suddenly there is a commotion outside. My wedding planner, Sarah, rushes in looking flustered. She says, "Peyton, there is a woman here who is insisting on speaking with you." She says it is urgent and family-related. Family-related? That is weird. My mom is right here, and I do not have any other family coming that I am not expecting. I ask Sarah what is going on, and she just looks stressed and says, "I do not know, but she is really insistent. Maybe you should just talk to her for a minute." Curiosity and a little bit of panic get the better of me, so I tell Sarah to bring her in. A moment later, this woman walks into the room. She is about my age, maybe a little younger, with dark hair and these intense eyes. She looks vaguely familiar, but I cannot place her. I am thinking maybe she is a distant cousin I have forgotten about or something like that. Before I can even say hello, she blurts out, "Barbara is my mother. I am your sister. Excuse me." I must have misheard her over the wedding music. I ask her to repeat herself. She says it again, louder this time, "Barbara is my mother. You are my sister. I am Amber. Okay, rewind. My mom, Barbara, has never mentioned another child. Ever. It has always been just me and her since Dad passed. Before that, it was just the three of us. No secret siblings, no whispers of another family, nothing. My mom is not exactly the secretive type. She is pretty open and honest, sometimes brutally so. So this is coming completely out of left field. I stare at this Amber, trying to process what she just said. My bridesmaids are all frozen, looking at me, and Amber with wide eyes. I finally manage to say, "I think you have the wrong person. My mom only has one child, me." Amber shakes her head, her eyes starting to water. "No, I do not. Barbara is my mother. She gave me up for adoption when I was born. I just found her recently, and I wanted to meet my family. And I found out about your wedding." My heart starts pounding in my chest. This cannot be real. This has to be some kind of prank, a joke, or maybe Amber is just completely delusional. I look at my bridesmaids for help, but they are as stunned as I am. Just then, my mom walks in looking for me. Barbara takes one look at Amber and all the color drains from her face. Her eyes widen and she literally stumbles back a step. It is like she has seen a ghost. "Mom," I ask, my voice trembling a little, "do you know this woman?" My mom does not say anything for a long moment. She just stares at Amber, her mouth slightly open. Then in a barely audible whisper she says, "Amber, is that really you? Oh my God, it is true. This is actually happening. My mom knows her. Amber is really my sister." My brain is short-circuiting. My wedding day, the happiest day of my life, and bam, family secret bombshell. Amber nods, tears now streaming down her face. "Yes, it is me. I have been trying to reach you. I wanted to meet you." My mom finally finds her voice, but it is shaky and weak. "What are you doing here? How did you find me?" Amber explains that she recently found her adoption records and tracked down my mom through some online searches. She found my wedding announcement online and decided to come. She wanted to meet her mother, her sister, her family, today, at my wedding. I am standing there, completely speechless, watching this unfold. My mom is pale and trembling, Amber is crying, and my bridesmaids are just watching like they are at a tennis match. The wedding music is still playing faintly outside, oblivious to the family drama happening backstage. Finally, I find my voice again. Mom, what is going on? Is this true? Do I have a sister? My mom looks at me, her eyes filled with guilt and pain. Peyton, I was going to tell you. I swear I was. Tell me. Mom, you were going to tell me about my secret sister on my wedding day. Seriously. No, not today. Eventually, I did not know how. It was a long time ago. I was young. It was complicated. Mom, you gave away a baby and never told anyone. That is not complicated. That is life-changing for everyone. Amber is still standing there, looking lost and hurt. She says softly, I just wanted to meet you. I wanted to know my family. I look at Amber, really look at her for the first time. She does look like me a little. And she is clearly hurting. This is not her fault. She did not ask to be given up for adoption. She did not ask to crash my wedding, probably. She is just trying to find her place in the world, and apparently that place is connected to me and my mom. Okay, I say, trying to take control of the situation. Everyone calm down. We need to figure this out. Sarah, can you hold off the ceremony for a little bit? Just tell Justin there is a slight delay. Do not tell him why yet. Sarah nods, looking relieved to have some direction. Okay, Peyton, I will handle it. I turn back to my mom and Amber. Mom, you and Amber need to talk. In private. Now, bridesmaids, can you give us a minute? My bridesmaids quickly shuffle out of the room, leaving just me, Mom, and Amber. The tension in the room is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Mom, I say again, firmly, talk to her, explain everything. I deserve to know the truth, and so does Amber. And frankly, my wedding is on hold because of this, so you two better start talking fast. My mom finally seems to snap out of her shock. She takes a deep breath and looks at Amber. Amber, come with me. Let us go somewhere private and talk. Peyton, I am so sorry. I will explain everything later. Mom leads Amber out of the room, leaving me standing there in my wedding dress, completely bewildered. My wedding day, my secret sister, my mom's hidden past. What a day. I sit down heavily on a chair, trying to process everything. This is insane. Absolutely insane. I cannot believe this is happening. My mind is racing. Who is Amber? Why did my mom give her up? Why did she never tell me? How is this going to affect my wedding, my marriage? My family? After what feels like forever but was probably only about 30 minutes, my mom comes back into the room. She looks exhausted and emotionally drained, but also a little calmer. Amber is not with her. Peyton, she says, sitting down next to me, I am so sorry, I messed up, big time. I look at her, waiting for an explanation. Well, I prompt, tell me everything, and she does. She tells me the whole story from beginning to end. It turns out when my mom was 19, she met a guy, fell in love, and got pregnant with Amber. They were young, scared, and not ready to be parents. The guy, Amber's father, was not supportive. He wanted my mom to get an abortion, but she could not bring herself to do it. Her parents, my grandparents, were very strict and traditional. They would have been furious and ashamed if they found out she was pregnant out of wedlock. So my mom, in a panic, made the heartbreaking decision to give Amber up for adoption. She went through with the pregnancy in secret, gave birth, and then handed Amber over to an adoption agency. She never told anyone, not her parents, not her friends, not even my dad when they started dating years later. She buried the secret deep down inside her, and it stayed buried for 25 years. Until today. Until Amber showed up at my wedding. Mom says she always regretted her decision, always wondered about Amber, but she was too afraid to try to find her. She was scared of reopening old wounds, scared of what Amber would think of her, scared of what I would think. She thought it was better to just leave the past in the past. But the past, as they say, has a way of catching up with you. And boy, did it catch up with us today. I listened to my mom's story, my emotions all over the place. I am angry at her for keeping this secret from me for my entire life. I am sad for Amber, who grew up without knowing her biological mother. I am also a little bit understanding of my mom. She was so young and scared, she made a mistake, a huge mistake, but maybe a mistake born out of desperation and fear, not malice. What about Amber? I ask. Where did she go? What did she say? Mom says Amber is waiting in another room. She is understandably overwhelmed and emotional. She wants to get to know us, to be part of our lives, but she also understands that this is a lot to process, especially on my wedding day. She said she will respect whatever decision we make. Wow, just wow, my head is spinning. I need to talk to Justin. I need to tell him everything. This is not something I can keep from my future husband. I find Justin, who is pacing anxiously, wondering what is taking so long. I pull him aside and tell him everything. I mean everything. About Amber, about my mom's secret, about the wedding interruption. He listens, his eyes widening with each new revelation. Justin is amazing. He does not freak out. He does not get angry. He just listens and then he hugs me tight. Peyton, he says, this is crazy, but we will get through it. Together. Let us go talk to your mom and Amber. Let us figure out what to do. So Justin and I go back to the room where my mom is waiting. We find Amber in another room, looking lost and vulnerable. I take a deep breath and walk over to her. Amber, I say, I am Peyton. It is really nice to finally meet you, even if it is under the most insane circumstances ever. Amber looks up at me, her eyes red and puffy. Peyton, hi. It is nice to meet you too. I am so sorry for crashing your wedding like this. I did not mean to cause trouble. I smile at her, a genuine smile. Hey, it is okay. It is not your fault. And honestly, weddings are overrated anyway. This is way more interesting. Come on, let us go talk to my mom. And Justin, my fiancé. We all gather together, Mom, Amber, Justin, and me. It is awkward and emotional and surreal, but we talk. We talk for a long time. Amber tells us about her life, about her adoptive parents, about her journey to find us. My mom apologizes to Amber, tears streaming down her face. Justin and I listen and ask questions and try to make sense of it all. By the end of the conversation, something amazing happens. Despite the shock and the drama, despite the years of secrets and lies, there is a connection forming between us. Amber is not a stranger anymore. She is family, my sister. We decide to postpone the wedding ceremony. It just does not feel right to proceed with the celebration when there is so much unresolved family stuff going on. Our guests are understanding, surprisingly so. Everyone is buzzing about the drama, of course, but they are also supportive. We spend the rest of the day with Amber, getting to know her, sharing stories, laughing and crying. It is a roller coaster of emotions, but it is also incredibly bonding. It feels like we are making up for lost time, even though it has only been a few hours. By the end of the day, we are exhausted but also strangely happy. My wedding day turned into something completely unexpected, something chaotic and dramatic, but also something beautiful and meaningful. I found a sister I never knew I had. My mom faced her past and took a huge step towards healing. And Justin, well, he proved once again that he is the most amazing and supportive man in the world. We do not know what the future holds. There is still a lot to process and figure out, but for now we have Amber. And that feels like a pretty amazing wedding gift, even if it came in the most unconventional way possible. So Reddit, what do you think? Am I crazy for feeling okay about all of this? Should I be mad at my mom? Am I wrong for wanting to embrace Amber and welcome her into our family? Tell me what you think. Update 1. Wow, I am blown away by all the responses. I posted this last night feeling completely overwhelmed, and reading all your comments and support has been incredibly helpful. Thank you, Reddit, seriously. A lot of you are asking for updates, so here is what has happened since yesterday. First, Amber stayed with us last night. We have a guest room, and she was really grateful to have a place to stay. It was a little awkward at first, having my brand new sister sleep in my house the night that was supposed to be my wedding night, but we made it work. We spent most of today talking some more. Mom, Amber, Justin, and me, we talked about everything. Amber's childhood, her adoptive parents, her decision to find her biological family, my mom's past, my childhood, everything. It was intense, but also really cathartic. Amber's adoptive parents are amazing, by the way. She had a really good upbringing, and she loves them very much. She said they are completely supportive of her finding her biological family, which is really wonderful. They always knew she was adopted and encouraged her to explore her roots if she ever wanted to. My mom is still very emotional and full of guilt, but she is also trying really hard to connect with Amber. She has apologized to Amber countless times, and Amber has been incredibly gracious and forgiving. It is clear that they both want to build a relationship. As for me, I am still processing everything. It is a lot to take in. But honestly, the more I get to know Amber, the more I like her. She is smart, funny, kind, and we actually have a lot in common. It is weird, but it also feels right, if that makes sense. Like she was always meant to be part of our family. Justin has been a rock through all of this. He is so supportive and understanding. He has been amazing with Amber, making her feel welcome and included. I am so lucky to have him. We have not made any definite plans for the wedding yet. We are thinking of postponing it for a few months, maybe until next spring. We want to give ourselves time to adjust to this new family dynamic and let things settle down a bit. Plus, honestly, planning a wedding feels a little trivial right now compared to everything else that is going on. My mom is also planning to tell her parents, my grandparents, about Amber. She is terrified, but she knows she cannot keep it a secret any longer. She is going to tell them this weekend. I am a little worried about how they will react, as they are quite traditional and judgmental, but hopefully they will be understanding. So yeah, that is where we are at. Still in shock, still processing, but also hopeful and optimistic. I will keep you all updated. Thanks again for all the support and advice. It really means a lot. Update 2. Another update for you all, as requested. Things have been moving pretty fast since my last post. First of all, my mom told her parents, my grandparents, about Amber. It was as dramatic as we expected, maybe even more so. They were initially furious. My grandmother was crying, my grandfather was yelling, and they both said some pretty hurtful things to my mom. They accused her of shaming the family, of betraying their values, and of all sorts of other things. It was a really difficult conversation, and my mom came home completely devastated. However, after a few days to cool down and process, they actually started to come around. My mom talked to them again, explained everything calmly and rationally, and emphasized that Amber is a wonderful person and that she wants to build a relationship with her. Slowly but surely, they started to soften. They are still not thrilled about the situation, and they are definitely not jumping for joy at having a secret granddaughter suddenly appear after 25 years, but they are willing to meet Amber. That is a huge step. Amber met my grandparents for the first time this past weekend. It was a very tense and awkward meeting, to say the least. My grandparents were polite but reserved, and Amber was understandably nervous. But again, things went better than expected. By the end of the meeting, my grandmother had actually teared up a little and hugged Amber. My grandfather even cracked a small smile. It is going to take time, but I think they are starting to accept Amber into the family. Amber and I have been spending a lot of time together. It is so much fun getting to know her. We have discovered that we have so much in common. We like the same movies, the same music, the same books. We even have the same weird sense of humor. It is like we have known each other our whole lives, even though we just met. We have been going out for coffee, going shopping, and just hanging out at each other's places. It has been amazing to build this sisterly bond so quickly. My mom is also doing much better. She seems lighter and happier than I have seen her in years. Connecting with Amber has been incredibly healing for her. She is still working through a lot of guilt and regret, but she is also filled with joy and gratitude to have Amber in her life. They talk on the phone almost every day, and they are planning to go on a mother-daughter trip together soon, just the two of them, to really bond and reconnect. Justin and I have officially postponed the wedding until next spring. We have set a new date for May, which gives us plenty of time to plan and for everything to settle down. Honestly, I am kind of relieved to have more time. Wedding planning is stressful, and I am glad to have a break from it for a while. So things are definitely moving in a positive direction. It is still a bit surreal to think that just a few weeks ago, I had no idea I had a sister, and now she is a major part of my life. It is like my family has suddenly expanded, and it feels really good. There are still challenges and adjustments to be made, but we are all working through it together. I am so grateful for my mom, for Amber, and for Justin, for being so supportive and open-minded. And thank you again, Reddit, for all your advice and encouragement. It has been incredibly helpful to share my story and get your perspectives. Update 3. Final update for now, Reddit. Things are still going incredibly well with Amber and our family. I honestly cannot believe how much has changed in such a short amount of time, all for the better. My grandparents have completely come around. They are now totally smitten with Amber. They call her all the time, send her gifts, and invite her over for dinner every week. It is actually kind of hilarious to see how quickly they went from being shocked and upset to being doting grandparents. Amber has charmed them completely, and they are now bragging to all their friends about their newfound granddaughter. It is a complete 180 from their initial reaction, and it is really heartwarming to see. My mom and Amber's relationship is blossoming. They went on their mother-daughter trip, just like they planned, and they had an amazing time. They went to the beach, went shopping, and just spent quality time together, talking and laughing. My mom said it was one of the best trips of her life. They are now inseparable. They are always texting, calling, and making plans to see each other. It is so beautiful to see them finally connecting after all these years. Amber and I are still super close. We are basically joined at the hip now. We are planning a sister trip together soon, maybe to Europe or somewhere exotic. We are also talking about starting a business together. We both have a passion for baking, and we are thinking about opening a bakery or a catering company. It is just an idea for now, but it is fun to dream and plan together. Justin and I are still happily engaged and planning our wedding for next May. We have started looking at venues again and are getting excited about the planning process. Amber is going to be my maid of honor, of course, and my mom is going to walk me down the aisle. It is going to be a truly special day, with my whole family, including my amazing new sister, by my side. Looking back, I am so grateful that Amber crashed my wedding. Yes, it was chaotic and dramatic and completely unexpected, but it led to the most wonderful thing happening in my life. I gained a sister, my mom healed old wounds, and our family became bigger and stronger than ever before. It is a reminder that sometimes, the most unexpected events can lead to the greatest blessings. So Reddit, thank you again for all your support and advice. You helped me through a really crazy time, and I appreciate it more than you know. What do you think of how everything turned out? Am I wrong for thinking this is a happy ending, even though it started with so much drama? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more shocking real-life stories happening around you.